Well, hello there. Welcome back to Modern Retro Gal. My name's JL, in case you're new to my channel. And today we are going to do some product duds, recent purchase product duds. I was going to do this as my June duds after my June, sorry, I feel like I have like hairs on my face, it's bugging me. But after I did my June favorites, I asked if you wanted to see everything that was like a June dud, and you said yes, you would. So I am happy to oblige. So I have quite a bit of makeup and skincare that I got very late May, all into June. I gave everything here that college try, and it just didn't really work for me. For different reasons. I don't think necessarily any of these products are bad, and I wouldn't discourage you from trying them necessarily because they may work for you, but a lot of people that I've seen sort of talk about these products are a good 10 to 15 years younger than I am, and so these products are going to work differently on 20-something skin as it will for my 30-something skin, getting close to 40-year-old skin. Even an early 30-year-old to myself, I'm 38, these products are probably going to work differently. Also, just depending on your skin type and what you have going on, you know, all that jazz. But this is all stuff that I see get pretty good reviews here on YouTube. And so I just figured I would give you my 2 cents. Now again, some of these products do work. They just don't quite work how I want them to, or how I want a product like them to perform, or what I expect out of them. So if you're not looking necessarily for what I'm looking for, then these might work out really great for you. So I'm going to start with skincare and then move into makeup. So first, these 2 products are from Pacifica. You know, I love the Pacifica Coconut Micellar Water. That's what I use to remove all my makeup before I wash my face. This is the Crystal Foam Sparkling Clean Face Wash and the Crystal Power Hydro Mist. Both of these have rose quartz and watermelon and lemongrass in them. It's part of their like crystal collection that they came out with. The reason I tried these out, one, I was out of my regular toner. They do Hydro Mist. That's the closest thing that Pacifica has to a toner. But I was out of my cleanser and toner, and I was having a hard time finding the ones that I had been using at the time in stock. And so I was at Ulta, and I just decided to grab these because I had grabbed the makeup removing wipes in the same scent for when I went to Viva to remove my makeup, so that I didn't have as many like liquid products that I had to travel with. And I loved the way it smelled, so I thought, well, it smelled really good and it didn't irritate my skin, so let me give it a try. And I will say that these do work. They just don't really perform up to what I'm looking for and what my skin needs are. They smell amazing. This watermelon lemongrass, it smells so good. It's not overpowering. It doesn't linger. So if you have problems with fragrance or scents in skincare, this isn't gonna overpower at all. The only thing is this is a very kind of more basic face wash and hydrating mist. There's not a lot of bells and whistles as far as skincare, you know, things that they might put in. It didn't dry out my skin, but it didn't leave it feeling as nice as the Derma E Hydrating Cleanser, which is my favorite. This was okay. It's just not really my favorite for what I'm looking for in a toner. If you just like something that you can spray on your face and it adds a little hydration, this is fine. But for toners, I'm looking for something that's going to tone my skin, help remove any last traces of makeup that may have been missed, start to hydrate the skin. Sometimes they have like pore refining properties in them. So I'm just looking for a little bit more from my skincare. If you're looking for something more basic, this would probably work really well for you, and I would recommend it. It's just for my skin and what I'm looking for because of my age and my skin, where my skin is at and what I'm trying to do to keep, you know, aging gracefully. This just doesn't quite do it for me, but in a pinch I would repurchase it if I absolutely couldn't find anything else that it worked better. But it is good. It's just not, it was just a dud for me. It just wasn't really that amazing. Another product that I kind of had high hopes for because of its claims and some of the reviews was from the Body Shop. This is the Drops of Youth Concentrate Serum. It has a lot of like supposed to be pore refining, brightening, hydrating face serum. I just haven't really noticed anything over the past like month that's really that spectacular happening with my skin. Nothing bad has happened since I started using it, but I have used other serums that definitely make a difference, and I just really haven't noticed anything, which is kind of a bummer. This stuff is not cheap. It's not the most expensive serum, but it's a good mid-price serum. And I know that this line, the Drops of Youth line, is supposed to be really good, but I just haven't really seen any spectacular results from it. I'm going to go ahead and use up the bottle because I did purchase it, and like I said, it's not doing anything bad for my skin. It doesn't irritate it. It doesn't have like a strong fragrance or anything. I just don't really notice it doing a whole lot to improve my skin. So I have a hair on my face somewhere around my nose and it's tickling me. But because of that, it's just not something that this is gonna bug me. It's just not something I would repurchase again in the future because I don't really see any major benefits. If anything changes by the time I hit the end of the bottle, because some products do take 8 to 12 weeks for you to see full results, I will update you, but as of right now, I'm just going to use it up and then move on. I have a couple of moisturizers. Number one, this is the IT Cosmetics IT Secret Sauce. This says clinically advanced miraculous anti-aging moisturizer. And I think I almost have, I got rid of the hair. Hallelujah. I am a huge fan of the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. That is hands down still my favorite face cream that is in production. It is not vegan. I have been trying to find something that was a vegan alternative. I don't think this is vegan. I think I got this as a free sample with something, and it's supposed to be like this advanced anti-aging moisturizer. I don't like it as much as the Confidence in a Cream. I didn't notice really any spectacular changes in my skin, and every time I go back and start using Confidence in a Cream, within 3 days I notice major changes in the way my skin looks and acts and feels, and to me that is a product that really works. So I don't really know like what's supposed to be so special about this, but I just didn't see it. So this isn't one, if you've been looking at this at all, I would go for the Confidence in a Cream over the Secret Sauce. Just my opinion. Next up, this is a product from Bare Minerals. It is their Firming and Wrinkle Smoothing Neck Cream. This is from their Ageless Genius series. It says it's formulated with gold peptides plus Edelweiss and algae extracts. So this is a vegan product. I know that Bare Minerals' parent company is not cruelty-free, but they are cruelty-free and this is vegan. And so again, I have been looking for a vegan alternative to the Confidence in a Cream. This is a neck cream. This is like neck and décolleté cream. I decided to try it and use it on my face also. I asked the gal at Ulta when I bought it, I said, do you think that this is okay to use on the face? And she said, well, It's technically a neck cream, but since it's kind of all in the same area, it should be okay. There's nothing that says don't use it on your face, but she had never heard anyone use it on their face and really give her any feedback. It's not a crazy expensive face cream. I think it's maybe, to be honest, it might have been about $65 actually, now that I think about it. It's somewhere in the $40 to $60 range. It's nice, but unfortunately what I noticed is the more I started using it, the more I was getting like bumps all over my face, mainly on my forehead, which is usually an indication that I'm having some kind of reaction to ingredients in a product. It did not irritate my skin, but it definitely caused a lot of texture that still hasn't completely gone away. I did not get it on my neck or my chest, just on my face. So technically this is a neck cream and I was trying to use it for something other than its intended purpose. So on the neck and the chest, it was nice. I didn't notice any major huge change, but it was really nicely moisturized and looked younger at the very least, because it was, you know, moisturized and hydrated there. On the face, unfortunately, it kind of just made me like break out into like all these little like acne bumps kind of thing. So it's not something that I would repurchase. There's cheaper alternatives for firming neck creams out on the market that I like just as much. So because of the price, I wouldn't purchase it again. So this is really a case of I was hoping that this product would replace the Confidence in a Cream by It Cosmetics. But for whatever reason, the skin on my face just didn't really like it. So I cannot recommend it for that purpose. Okay, so we are now going to move into makeup. I have one like makeup tool that I'm going to show you guys. This is a beauty sponge. This is from Sonia Kashuk. She has several sponge sizes. This one, when you get it wet, it actually like doubles in size. It's humongous. This is supposed to be for face, like makeup and that kind of thing. I feel like for foundation, it's just gigantic. And so I find it a little bit difficult to use for that. I do like it for doing like cream contour or cream blush. The only downside is that that's the only thing that I like it for. I don't like it for blending out concealer, because I feel like it pulls a little bit of the product off. But for doing like cream contour or blush, it works really well because you don't end up over getting too much product on your skin. It kind of holds enough product that you're really able to layer it on without it being too much. That being said, I have the sponge from Real Techniques, and I like it better because I only have to use one sponge. I only have to get one sponge wet, and I can kind of use it for everything that I'm going to use a sponge for, whereas this one just has a really specific use. So it's just kind of my opinion on it. It's not a bad sponge. I just think it's better for really specific use. So if you've been looking for a sponge to do just like cream contour or cream blush, then this is a really good option. If you have a larger face, you have more like place on your face. What am I trying to say? To like blend makeup. This does get gigantic, like it doubles in size almost. So I just didn't really care for it for doing foundation or concealer, but it's not bad. It just has a really specific use. And for me, I have other multitasking sponges that I don't have to have a sponge for every little thing that I do. Next up, this is from Flower Beauty. This is their Draw the Line eyebrow pencil in brunette. It has a brush on this end, and it has a rather not super thin but not super thick end where you fill in your brows. I didn't like this at all. It's too waxy, it moves too much, it gets too dark, it gets really patchy, and it's one of those things where I'm really afraid if I touch my eyebrows, I'm just gonna wipe it off. Like, it does not feel like it would set down, so I don't recommend this particular eyeliner from Flower Beauty. If that is a formula that you prefer, maybe if you have really dry skin and you like something that's more emollient, this may be something good to pick up, but not for me, not what I'm looking for. Next up, I have a couple of concealers. I am on the hunt for a new concealer, and I think I know what direction I'm gonna go. I may even try and buy it today, not gonna lie. But these are a couple of popular concealers. I was looking to replace my Tarte Shape Tape only because the fragrance in it has been irritating my eyes, and my under eyes have been really, really sensitive lately, and so the fragrance in it has just been too much. So I went out and got first I got the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer. I had heard that this basically performs really similar to the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't think they're similar at all. Consistency and coverage, I feel like it looks very different on my skin, but again, my skin is 38 years old and it's not 20 something years old, which can make a difference. I also am annoyed by their shade range. They only have neutral and warm tones, and even a lot of their neutral tones have a quite warm undertone to them, so you don't really get that. I like more of like a slight pinky undertone because I am fair and because I have such dark purpley under eyes. It helps to continue to cancel out and conceal my dark under eyes. And the Tarte Shape Tape, and I think the shade Light, is like absolutely perfect for that. This creased really bad under my eyes. I cannot set it. I tried without setting it and it still just looked really dry and cakey, and it just didn't look good under my eyes. So if you are someone who is aging, has aging under eyes, or has problems with lines and really heavy creasing, I would not recommend this particular concealer. I have the shade Fair Neutral, and this was the closest that I could find to the Tarte Shape Tape, even though it still looks completely different. It's much lighter still, and it's a yellowy neutral undertone. It's not a true neutral undertone. So I really wish that Urban Decay would add cool undertones to their base products, but alas, they are not. So that is my opinion on this one. After that, I went out and picked up the Makeup Revolution London Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour. This I had also heard was a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape, just much cheaper. I got the shade C3. Again, this is nearly the same shade as Tarte Shape Tape's Light. This one is slightly lighter, but it was the closest that they had. Consistency wise, this one is a teeny bit thinner, and Tarte Shape Tape is a pretty like thin consistency. But they've got a similar wand. It has a similar look. There's little to no, I mean, there's fragrance. It's more like just product chemical fragrance, but it's not really heavy. It performs very similar when you're blending it out to the Tarte Shape Tape. I do feel like Tarte concealer has a little bit more coverage than this when I blend it out, and I blend them out the same way. This doesn't have quite as much coverage, but it's pretty, like, unless you're used to using Tarte Shape Tape, you wouldn't really notice because this is still really good coverage. The only problem for this is, on me, this is much more dry once it's set than the Tarte Shape Tape. Even if I blend it out with a beauty sponge and set it with a loose powder with a damp beauty sponge, which is usually what I do for the Tarte Shape Tape or other concealers, and that really sets it, but keeps it from looking really dry and cakey rather than just blending powder over. This still ends up looking dry and creasy and crackly throughout the day. So for me, it's not really, it just ends up not looking really that great by the end of the day. So I'm still on the hunt. This isn't quite my dupe for Tarte Shape Tape, but it is very similar. And so if you're not wanting to spend the money on Tarte, I would recommend giving this a try, but just know that if you are dry under your eyes, you're going to want to use a really good under eye moisturizer. And try this trick. You take your beauty sponge and you wet it, and you just like you would for the rest of, you know, your makeup with it, and then dab it into some loose powder, and then dab that under your eye. I can't talk. I can't talk. Use that to set your under eye, and it really does help, especially with aging under eyes, skin, to not look so dried out underneath. So anyways, that is my thoughts on that. Next up is a mascara. I had planned to do this first impression thing on this mascara. It's the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. I see blogs for this all the time about how this is like the best, like $5, $3 drugstore mascara, better than anything else that's really high end, that gives you like the longest, most amazing lashes for super cheap. So I was like, you know what? I've seen a few videos on it on YouTube where people are like, oh yeah, it like really is great. And I thought, all right, I'll give it a try. And I was going to do this whole video about that. And I was kind of in a pinch, and I kind of grabbed it and threw it on, and I was like, wow, like one coat and my lashes were stinking long. This stuff really is amazing. I was so excited to do a video on it. Maybe an hour later, I looked in the mirror and I had black mascara all the way around my eyes. And I put on one quick coat. I didn't even put any on my lower lashes, and there was like mascara smear all around my eyes. I had not cried. I had not wiped my face, like my eyes, lashes at all. This stuff smeared so bad. And I thought, maybe I just wasn't really careful, or maybe I don't think I really had any like powder on my eyes. I just threw a little bit of mascara on to get out the door, and I thought, well, maybe like my eyelids were really kind of like, it was interacting with my skincare. So I tried it again, and I had full makeup on, and I looked in the mirror and there was just like black everywhere. I don't know what it is, but for me, this stuff smears so bad. And it's such a bummer because it really does, like, it's crazy how long my lashes looked. Like, they were up, like, where the top of my, like, crease color, my deeper color is, that's how long my lashes were. Like, they were up to that point. But, I mean, I had, like, black mascara all over here, all around my eyes. It was ridiculous. So unfortunately, this ended up being a dud for me when I had really, really high hopes for it, but that's just what happened to me. Now comes to the product that kind of breaks my heart, because I wanted this product to work so bad, and I have not abandoned all hope, just having some issues with it. So this is the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. This is Cover FX new foundation that they came out with this year. This has gotten amazing reviews. There are tons of shades. The shade that I have right now is N25. I do feel like this still isn't quite the right shade for me, and so that is playing a little bit of a part in why I don't like it. And to be honest, I'm kind of struggling finding like the right. Okay, sorry about that. I had to change out my battery. So like I was saying, I am struggling a little bit to figure out what is the right shade. This right now is a little light for me. I think the undertone is okay. It's still just a little bit too light. So I'm not quite sure. I had gone into Sephora to get color matched, and she gave me G10, which is the absolute lightest shade in the warm undertone. So like that's like super fair porcelain with warm undertone. That's not me. I thought N25 was going to be a better fit for me, but again, it's still a little bit too light. So I'm literally going to have to make a trip to Sephora again and get several shades to see if I can find what is the right match before I'm going to have to go and get several shades and bring them home and test them out to figure out what is the right shade for me. That aside, it's not my favorite foundation in general. It's a little dry for me, which I don't really have dry skin, but it makes my skin look dry. So I have to really nicely moisturize, and I have to use a super hydrating primer underneath it. I cannot use my Pixi Rose Flash Balm underneath this because it will grab to places because of that rose balm, and it won't look even, and I have a really hard time making it look even. I also find that I have to use a lot of this, whether I use it with a sponge or a brush. I have to use a lot of this product to get the same coverage that I use even just with my Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. And I don't have to use as much of that to get the same level of coverage. So if I want to get high coverage, I actually have to use a lot of this. And again, that could be because the shade is off on it. And whenever foundation is too light for me, it doesn't like cover as well. It doesn't cover things as well. It tends, like any of my discoloration tends to really shine through because whatever is darker is much more highlighted when a foundation is too light. So I'm not loving it. I still kind of haven't found like the perfect primer to wear with it so that it'll look nice on the skin. I'm still struggling finding the right shade. I'm hopeful that with the right shade and the right primer, it would work for me. But for now, I'm just not a fan. And I know everyone has been loving this foundation, and I'm just not. And it makes me sad because I want to love it too, but I just don't. So CoverFX has another like cream liquid foundation that I want to try out. But for me, this one in general, too, the way it sits on my skin, I just don't like the way it sits on my skin. It's not the best to me. And for the price, I think it's $44. That's a lot for 1.18 fluid ounces, and to not be in love with it, and to not have it, perform as well as a foundation from the drugstore that I have that's like $12. So that's how I feel about that. I have kind of a dishonorable mention. This was a freebie that I got. Again, I don't really purchase anything from NARS anymore because they're not cruelty free, but I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in on this product. So I got a freebie of this. I didn't even realize that it was just in a bag. It's of their Orgasm Blush. This is like supposed to be a cult favorite, totally amazing, looks great on everybody's skin, makes you look like super glowy and all this stuff. I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks on me. I don't like the shade on me. This one is like super dry. I don't know if the formula has changed on their blushes or maybe because it's a mini, but this stuff sucks. Like, it is chalky and rough. It barely shows up on my skin. I have to keep digging into it to get it to look like anything on my skin, and I just don't really like the shade on me. So if anyone out there is bummed that NARS is not cruelty free and you cannot have the Orgasm Blush anymore, if you've never gotten it, don't feel bad because it's not pretty. So anyways, that is it for me. I hope you found this helpful at all. If you have been looking at any of these products or looking for any new products and have seen these on the shelves, This is just my opinion. Again, it's not necessarily that all of these products were a bad formula. They just didn't work really well for me or work how I wanted them for me. So those are my recent skincare and makeup duds. Again, thank you all for watching. For those of you who are newer to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing. I'm so happy to have you here. If this is the first time that you have found me, I hope that you will click that subscribe button and the little bell so that you will always be notified when I upload. I hope you all are doing really great, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.